Hello people, welcome. Just doing a little check. Yeah, voice sounds okay. Sounds like we've got some audio. I'm just waiting on one of the server admins to give me the permissions I need. Waiting for an admin to give me the stage. Cool. So this bit, this is just me and you, chat. No one else knows we're here. So yeah, we're just waiting right now. And as soon as we can go, then we'll go. So yeah, I guess just for the benefit of the people that are watching this live and will watch this afterwards, this is version 2 of the live stewarding session. So this time with alcohol. Need an admin. Let me just ping admin. We need help with a stage, because I'm not actually admin on the server, so yeah, I don't have that permission. So anyway, it's just me and you, chat, and if there's anyone here, feel free to jump on in and say hello. If you're watching this after the fact, this will be up on YouTube, obviously. There's no point because I will probably won't reply. But I hope you're all well. Just waiting on someone getting back to me, right? No one coming back to me. I did message Fengels. We have this issue every time. It's just one of those things. He's online. He's playing ACC. See, there's people waiting for it to start as well. Yeah, I can't do anything. Can't do out in here. Playing a waiting game, peeps. So some nice chill background music on. I've got my rum and coke. We're good for now. Waiting. Sorry about this. Turn lo-fi girl down a little bit. Jesus Christ. Oh, this is frustrating. Is he in? Let me just check if he's in the thing. I'm just wondering if he's in, for any reason, if he's in the practice server. I doubt he will be. No, he's not. He's not in any of the others now. Fengler. I'm gonna give it a time and then I'll just have to call it. And then I'll just not have to bother doing any of these again. Yeah, once we've got that, then I'll go over what the sort of itinerary is. There's no point until we know it's going ahead. Just had one of the other admins message me. Yeah, that's the backup plan now, David. But there's a apparently there's an admin on his way to sort it. This is a preferred way. It's a bit less fucking about. Fangle has just replied. It's a bit less fucking about this way. It's easier to present. It's a bit cleaner. So we'll try that. And it's hopefully should only take a minute. Mateus has popped in. So we started it. Cool.
So Chris, I'm not sure how I can invite you to stage now, but obviously it works that I can start from the stage.
There we go. Right.
Now you should be on stage.
Now we're cooking. Now we're cooking.
Now we're cooking.
Yeah, boy.
First time I'm trying it, so yeah.
That's right. If you can get Thomas in here as well, because I think he's raised his hand. I don't know if I can get Thomas up.
Why to speak?
I haven't got the option to bring him in. There he is.
He's on stage.
Hello, boys.
Hello, mate. Hello. I don't know if Lewis is joining us. I'm assuming not. Yeah, I don't think he is. Well, thanks, Mateus. Thank you for that. Appreciate it, mate.
No worries.
Right, so Stewarding session, volume 2. Let me just share my. There's nothing going on my screen at the minute, so you're not missing anything. so you don't need to all flock to my screen share. It's just my pretty new car. A little bit of an intro then. So we did this about 6 months ago. I can't remember how we got the idea. I think we were drunk one night and just thought, it's fucking cool, isn't it? That was Skirt's idea, because that was born of his frustration getting past me at Monza. And obviously it's my surname, so it kind of fits. It's really nice. So yeah, about 6 months ago, me, Thomas, later joined by Darius and I think Sky, just basically ran through a few incidents. That was really more about how we stewarded and less about how we came to decisions and shit like that. This is a bit more of an open book because I think we've already done the intro, but the reason for this particular stream is there's been a bit of a tweak to the rule set. Not a big dramatic change, just quite a sensible one, to be brutally honest with you, but because we've got so many new drivers, it's definitely worth going over it again. Then yeah, we could go through a few incidents from last season as well. So if anyone in the chat on Twitch or in the chat on Discord has any incidents you do want to go over, you have myself and Thomas in here. We're both on the stewarding team. There's what, 9 of us in total, Thomas? There's quite a few.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 7 or 9.
So you're not going to get the, I don't know what the collective noun is for some stewards, but you're not going to get like the horde of dickheads that you would normally get on a Sunday and Monday night when we normally do stewarding. Last lap Suzuka split 2, you and Volt. Is the replay, have I got it? Give me a sec. I don't know if I'll have it already. Oh, yeah, I've got Pano for split 1 already. In fact, I've got it twice for some reason. Might as well start with a bang. Stewardesses. No, that's not, Adrian. It's just not. Yeah, so the idea, I guess, is to run through a few of those, kind of get the thought process behind what how we come to what we do. We've got a few rule change things to go through, and then we'll just have a bit of general. Well, we'll just have a bit of general chat and banter anyway. So, let me try and locate. So, split 2 insert. Let me find that replay. Suzuka. I've got a gut feeling. Yeah, if anyone's got it, can you upload it? Because the one that Volt's put up says it's not available. But we can work on that. We can get to it. I'll work on what I've got now, and then we can come back to that. That's fine. So if someone in the background can obtain that, that would be good. So, Thomas, where do you think it's a good place to start? Shall we recap what we do for lap 1s? I don't think there's that much value in it, or should we just jump straight into some fun?
I think we can jump into some fun. Lap 1s will be treated as lap 1s have always been treated.
Yeah.
So there's nothing in it.
There's no value in that. So just for the community, I guess, and those that are new, for the Sunday series, we will review all lap 1s in their entirety. So we'll look at the entire field, going through each corner, each straight, even as has come clear last season. The accidents aren't just confined to corners at the minute. And we'll look at all the contacts. We'll basically judge whether there's anything in it, and that'll be issued in the stewards document, which Lewis normally releases on like a Thursday. So you don't need to report anything that's happened on lap 1 unless you're self-reporting it, in which case we like you, but you still don't have to. We review it ourselves. So let's have a look at and by the way, if anyone is working on that replay for Suzuka, let me know. Let me know when it's there and I'll go and grab it. I need the split 2 one. The first one I'm going to look at is something that has been a bit of a hot topic. Cheers, Matt. Thank you, mate. There's no rush with this. This will take up a bit of time anyway. So this is split one Mount Panorama, so the tryhards basically. And an issue that came apparent this season, which I didn't think was something we really had to shuffle on, is yellow flags. Yeah, Miles, send it mentality. Yellow flags has been a problem this season, and I'm not singling it. And by the way, just so, and it's not, and this comment's fueled by what you're saying, Christian. It wasn't just you. That will become apparent, and this is just one of about half a dozen incidents that we reviewed that could have been avoided if yellow flags were sort of obeyed a little bit better. So we're just going to go through that. So it's lap 17. So we'll go to Darius's Audi. Where is he? Cool. So yeah, Darius is. I think this is the one. Yeah. So Darius, in following the Angry Weasel, comes a cropper on the wall. It happens. It's Mount Pano. But Mount Pano's pretty unique in the fact that if you have an accident there, you 90% chance you're gonna stay. Fuck off, Pano. 90% chance you're gonna stay on or near the racing line. So Darius there, basically in the middle of an accident, and holds his brakes. At this moment in time, a couple of cars have managed to get past him. There's a Honda there. I think that's Hando Voss that just got caught up in a little bit of it. And then what we're going to see now, and we can clearly see yellows are flying, by the way, and that's another issue. Well, that's a green, but there's a yellow flag up there you can see. Maybe I can also go over incident Laguna Seca. I should have the replay, I think. So yeah, we can. We can do indeed. The yellow flag flying. That's a blind corner there. So there's no car that can see Darius unless they've got like a really advanced radar. They're not going to know he's stationary like on the racing line. Yeah, so you just got anyone at this point that would have lifted for that yellow flag wouldn't have had the accident that they're about to happen. So first of all, one car comes absolutely sleaming through. Oh mate, you absolute hero. Let me just get that downloading in the background. Download. I trust you're not sending me viruses, so happy days. Cheers mate, thanks for that. I'll get that added in and we'll go over that one next. So yeah, that's Flynn, I think, that comes round. So it's quite deep into the race. He avoids it, but I think he has his own separate accident. Give me a sec. I'll just put follow car off so we can. Camouflage. Hey mate, if it's camouflage porn, is still porn. It's fine by me. And then we've got this, and I'll just play it through because it's quite funny. And then Darius RTGs. I think he was just trying to get the car rolling again. So yellow flag's now flying. So we've got one car that full pelts it through, and really nice drift actually there, Flynn. That was really well executed. Two cars that squeeze through, one makes contact and one absolutely fires it off. This exact same incident, pretty much copy and pasted in just this split, I think happened 3 times. Where a car lost control and then because yellow flags weren't being obeyed. In fact, there might have been more than that, Thomas. I think I'm recalling at least 3.
Yeah.
Where just because like a yellow flag's flying, people are just fully sending it. Most tracks you can get away with that. Bathurst you can't. Bathurst you'll have a horrible accident, as has been seen there. Now I know it's sim racing, lives aren't on the line and all that jazz. Smash into a car at 160 mile an hour, it's not going to hurt anything other than your ego at the time. But we still want to practice safe driving, basically.
Which is why one of the rule changes coming, and Lewis will be posting an announcement for them, but we will be looking very harshly on yellow flag infringements.
Yeah, basically. There is also, I'm going to go through some bits and bobs later on. I think Yellow Flags is in there, where we cover off the new rule set. But yeah, there'll be pre-season. There'll be some announcements coming out just about stewarding and rule sets and stuff like that. So yeah, that's that one. Now, how we viewed that. My advice was, what's that coming over the hill? It's a Mustang. We didn't deem time penalties appropriate, but we did give out what we call LOPs or LPPs. They're basically, think of them as behaviour warning points. Points in this case don't mean prizes, they mean further penalties. So I think we gave LPPs there to Skirt, Rozzo and Jack Holden at the time, just because they had the yellow flags and didn't slow down for them. Flynn, you'll remember Flynn's awesome drift, he didn't get a yellow because the way ACC rules yellow flags, your car has to be stationary for the yellow to fly, and it wasn't, and Flynn had already seen Darius by the time it was, so no point in that. Right, so we'll come back to yellow flags a little bit later, because that's in the new rule set. But while we're looking at this incident, has anyone in chat got any questions or comments or funny remarks about that accident or anything else that we want to look at from Split 1 Pano? We have a typer. It's the best thing to do, teleport back to the pit. Yeah, it depends. So Bathurst, yeah, because as you can see on screen, like, your only options really are to be on the track. So it is, unless you're near. It usually is the best option to return back to the pit unless you're near the pit entry anyway. Darius is. Them's fine, mate. Go on.
To further elaborate on that one, very track dependent and also dependent on where on track you are. Like in this situation, like 300% return to pits for Darius after he got punted like that.
Yeah.
There is no way he can safely make it down the mountain without dying. I had a pretty big incident caused by myself at Kota, which my car was fucked, but I could limp it back to the pit lane completely off track and save a couple minutes on the repair time by doing that.
Yeah.
So if the track allows it, you can.
Yeah, the thing there, I don't know how new to the game you are, D, but if you press that return to garage thing during a live race, the game penalises you for that and gives you extra repair time. So in an ideal world, you don't want to do that, but if it's safer, we as stewards would say do it if it's safer. You know, it's just easier to do it like that. I don't think there's much else we can look at in this. I mean, there's loads of little incidents that happened at Mount Pano, but most of it for Split 1 was yellow flag infringements. Pretty much most of it was yellow flag stuff.
I think we're good covered with this one.
I think we're good with Mount Pano. Plus, we've got Mount Pano coming up again this season, so I'm happy about that. Right. So I've downloaded that replay now, so let me just go and drop that in, and then we can look at the one that Mr. Volt. So is it Mr. Volt? Let's look at it. Oh. How many incidents they found upon, mate? Don't. It wasn't the worst, you know. It wasn't the worst for us this time. I think Imola was one of the harder ones because of just the sheer ferocity of the lap ones. Right, what did he say?
Last lap.
Last lap Suzuka, and it was Matt and Robert.
Last lap, start, finish straight.
Oh, we're already on him. Let's have a look.
Probably.
I think I know what this is. I remember it now. Is this the side swipe? Is it? Yeah, it is. Fucking hell. Oh my god. So I remember this happening, and it looks even funnier like in the commentator's angle because I watched the stream back afterwards. Because the commentator's doing like what is he saying? Oh, so they're coming across the line to finish off. Oh, it's great. Da, 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 da. And then you just cut to this camera angle, and then you just see Matt go, da, 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 bang. It's so good. The problem is the race hadn't finished at that point. It was still like a live session, so to speak. And then even if the race had finished, there'd have been questions about purposeful contact. Now we obviously know Matt. We know that's not him. I will tell you straight off, Matt. We found this in the stewards meeting. This was fucking hilarious. We very much enjoyed watching it for very different reasons. This came out with we basically went pretty much straight 10-2, I guess. In fact, no, we wanted to give it a little bit more on the LLP, but we mitigated it down because I think Matt self-reported this one. But yeah, well, I'd Matt, while you're in chat, like, what happened? Like, was it just were you just meant to go in front of him and scare him a little bit? Because I kept doing that to Lewis a few seasons ago. Or was the nudge? I'm not saying purposeful, but were you meant to like get close to him or something? But yeah, for us, it was a standard cause in a collision. It wasn't like one of those ones where it's after the race and you smash into someone and like they're relaxed and then suddenly their force feedback chops their fingers off. It wasn't one of those. It was just a standard cause in a collision for me. Pretty straightforward. Unfortunately for Mr. Volt, it lost him quite a few places, I think. Where was it? Yeah, he'd run out of fuel, hadn't he? Had he run out of fuel?
Yeah.
Or was he waiting for the race to finish or something like that? Yeah.
No, he was fuel saving.
Right, okay. So yeah, he lost. He went from 7th to 10th. But 8th and 9th were not his class, so they kind of don't matter as far as that goes. So yeah, he'd lost one position. So the outcome of it actually wasn't that bad. It was perfectly fine. But yeah, as far as reviewing that one, it was pretty straightforward. There wasn't much difficulty in it. I would say, Thomas, I don't know whether you'd agree, but we've probably had more inter-stewarding team arguments about incidents this season than we probably ever have.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's been a lot of mixed opinions. It comes from a time when we just have different viewpoints on a lot of things. And some of us are like really strict with certain things. Some of us are a little bit more, fine, it's alright. And obviously some of us have had, it's why we tend not to do much stewarding on Sunday night, because some of us might have had a bad race and be in a really fucking foul mood. Anything else to look at from Suzuka? Split 2. I'm just looking through the file. There was that lap 1, which was Wiedemann, Wagner.
Yes, Imola Split 1 has a fuck ton of them.
Yeah, we'll actually just jump to Imola because that was fucking hilarious, right? Yeah.
So Miles, like pretty much all of the incidents are the same.
What do you mean?
And there was split, the whole overtaking on the straights alongside.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
Matt Yale, Dave Young, and I believe also Kusut had one with someone. I can't remember who that was.
So this race is the one that you remember we should have run at the start and we didn't. So this actually happened.
Thank you, Shimon. Yep.
This happened when pretty much all of Split 2 was sat on the YouTube stream watching. expecting an absolute masterclass in driving style, patience, racecraft, and you're about to see what actually unfolded before we even got to a corner. Right, let's just do this. Let's yeah. Hopefully you can all see, by the way. I'll just do that. And hopefully I've got the angle right. Is it this one? Oh yeah, it's up here. This is yeah, it's up here, isn't it? That was split 2, I think, the one that happened up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, bang, 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 bang. And it's still happening. There's still cars flying off. Yeah. So that incident sort of caught up about a quarter of the field, I think, at some point.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Flo.
and Mr. Woff, God bless him. That Mercedes that he was driving last season probably got more airtime than Tony Hawk. So this one, I can tell you right now, was an absolute bitch to sit and unpack, and it took us ages to go through this one because there was just a lot to go. You don't see that in the outcome because, you know, in fairness, there's just not really a lot to. And I've just realised my chat's been stuck at the top, so I've not actually been seeing any of the comments put in it. Yeah, all you see is like a little incident report. What actually sits behind it is hours and hours of work. So in terms of this one, this was all deemed to be down to, give me just a second, let's go back. The start of this incident would have been this. So that's where it all started. 178. Yeah, that's you, Mr. Shooting that. TC1. TC1 in the Mercs, not much better than TC0. And on cold tyres, and looking at the inputs and the throttle input, that car was always spinning. So that's what caused it. Now, obviously, I know Hassan, I've driven against him a lot. Really good driver. And just a little mistake by him at that point caused a multi-car. So he got a multi-car collision for that, which is, I think it was an immediate totted up to a drive-through penalty, and 5 license points because of the amount of cars that get collected in this one. Loads and loads and loads and loads and loads. Any comments, Thomas?
No.
No, it wasn't skirt, and we didn't have it. So the little incidents that happened behind, no, we didn't. So this is the thing. A lot of the stuff that happened behind him, obviously that's not on him. That's not his fault. We judge those separately. Sometimes they're NFA. It's just cars reacting and shit like that. There's not always something you can do for it. Not many use brakes behind of that. The problem would have been, Freddie, no yellows, and unless you all sit in the same voice chat and can shout it out, sometimes you're driving into it and you just don't know what you're driving into. That's another like, and I can't talk because I sit in a different voice chat because I don't know if you've noticed, but if there's a lot of voices, it pisses me off. So I can't sit in a busy voice chat. No, he didn't get all the smoke, mate. He really didn't. He was responsible for the immediate sort of the cars that like that. He's responsible for that. Nothing afterwards, basically. Well, I'll give you my perspective because I get caught up in this. Give me a sec. So this is my view of it. So I see the smoke, but don't forget, I think that's Poa, and I'm sorry if I butcher your name. And Greening over here. I think it's them. Because as far as I can see, it's just smoke in the corner. It's only now I realise there's a David Roth and someone else sideways, and Mr. Roth gets himself airborne. And there's Mr. Shooter, look, just parked watching everything unfold.
When it comes to multi-car collisions, we look at if the driver's behind, like when we judge if it's a multi-car collision or not, or if it's just a concertina effect, we look at if the drivers behind have time to react and a possibility to react. If they don't have any time to react, they will be kind of slotted in. Concertina effect is basically how a traffic jam out of nothing can happen.
That's a perfect way of saying it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, an accordion. Yeah. Traffic jam out of nowhere.
Basically, the car ahead, like one car slows down a little bit, the car behind has to slow down even more, and then the car behind that has to slow down even more, and at some point it's a full stop.
Yeah.
That's basically the concertina effect.
And that happened quite a lot, didn't it, as well?
Yeah, we do get a lot of concertina effects, and we tend not to judge them because it's just a natural thing that happens when there is close racing and everybody has to slam on the brakes.
Yeah.
Only way contact doesn't happen if everybody slams the brakes at the very same time. So we very rarely judge concertina effects, but we also look at, did they have time to react, stuff like that, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. And that happened, I think, at Brands as well in Split 2. I think you had a very similar thing that happened in Brands Hatch. I might be imagining things, but there was definitely another one.
Split 1.
Was it in our Split, was it? Oh, God. We're not. Yeah. This isn't a shining advert for Split 1 driving, is it? Right. Yeah, you, David. You vertical again, I think.
Exactly.
You were the... You were definitely the submissive and breedable one in this accident, mate. There you are, look. In his natural habitat. Upside down, Mercedes. I think the other one we should probably look at in this incident, or in this race, for want of a better word, is what I call the pit manoeuvre incident. So there's a couple of them here. All out of Aqua Minerale. So I think we've got one involving Mr. Gale and Mr. Ozolski. In fact, I'll go to Wazzo. Where's Wazzo? Where the hell is he?
Sure has a good one.
Pardon?
Sure has a good one. Lap 4.
Lap 4. On you, Skirt. What corner, mate?
The one I'm thinking about is out of Aqua Minerale.
You're right, Flo, but Split 2 should have... Sorry, Split 1 we should be better. In terms of, like, accident avoidance, racecraft, prevention, all that shit.
So not Lap 4.
I think I've just found it. I don't know if I've got the replay. David. Fucking Ike in his natural sideways habitat. Yeah. So this is the one we were thinking of in a slightly different context.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the ones with very differing opinions.
Yeah, I will tell you right now, this wasn't settled quickly. This one took think, like 3 revisits to get. In fact, it was to the point where we needed to actually publish the results. We hadn't agreed on anything.
Yep.
And there was a
We
few
weren't
that
in
were like this.
agreement, but they needed to be published.
Ultimately, just because I'm not into edging you all tonight, I'll give the outcome that was agreed on. Sort of a majority agreement. Sometimes Lewis just has to make a decision. Is classified as put to pass, and it was a 5-1 to Mr. Smith. Honestly, mate, there's so many arguments about this, and that's why there's a bit of a rule clarification about it, so at least we've got something to stick to, because at the minute it's just personal opinion. You know what, Adrian? Lewis actually mentioned that earlier. Lewis mentioned it, and it did implode the stewards team. So the school of thought here, just so everyone's sort of on the same page, there's 2 schools of thought. One is that Smith is obviously trying to get on the outside of Skirt to squeeze him into the corner, and hopefully set himself up for an exit. Skirt's just trying to take his race in line. As far as he's concerned, the corner's his and his head, and that, by the way, was my agreement. It's Skirt's corner until the other car's significantly alongside. But there was a counter argument that was like, yeah, but you knew he was there, so like, you know, he needs space. Scub, yeah, let's not ask that question, mate. That will they just happen when they happen, dude. Like, there's so many different things that can happen. They just, the one that Adrian's got, if I've got the replay, if I've got the replay, in fact, can someone just have a quick look through race replay for us to see? In fact, I'll do it, I'm here anyway. Suzuka, oh, it was Kota, wasn't it?
Oh, Kota.
Kota split 2. Right, it's downloading, so yeah, I'll have it imminently. We're going to look at Laguna after this, because we've already had a request for that, and then we'll come to Suzuka. Yeah.
So when it comes to call it incidents like this, one rule clarification that will be enforced is that sufficiently alongside isn't the same on a straight versus a corner, because of how long it's going to take in order to actually get alongside in, you know, on a straight compared to a corner, which means that it's basically you can sum it up to all the time you have to leave the space, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, I'm still of the school of thought of you have to be significantly alongside to validate racing room, but this is kind of one of the beauties about what we do is we don't always agree. How many?
The definition of when sufficiently alongside happens, especially on a straight.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
There was another one that happened on the main straight that was even more contentious as well. There was like 3 of these that happened on this race that absolutely caused a diabolical argument. How many stewards are working in these reports? Varies, depends who's about. There's usually 5 or 6. Typically there's always one of us that isn't there initially, and that's the person then that deals with any appeals. And then if we need like third party input from appeals, we've got a few people we go to as well. Or we just anonymously whack it on Sim Racing Stewards and see what they say on Reddit. We don't do that. We haven't done that, although we might do. It's cheap consulting service. So yeah, for this one, like the outcome stroke reasoning, you know, call it how you want. The argument, I guess, is Smith had a speed advantage, so he was going faster than Skirt was at that time. He was going to get the overlap. My opinion is he should have switched to the inside once he noticed that he had that speed advantage. That remains my opinion, but that's just my opinion. But that Skirt's just basically closed him out. But on this occasion, it was deemed that Glenn should have backed out or gone for there was a better option available, for want of a better word, for him to make the overtake there. If I give you his, as we like to say, incock, out of Aqua Minerale, you'll sort of see where I'm coming from with, he just made the wrong choice, in my opinion. And I think actually he probably didn't go there because Sky was there, but yeah, that's all it is. I mean, they happen. If he'd have waited, yeah, that would have mitigated the penalty. He didn't wait, he carried on. And then mitigations is going to be covered later as well. Cool, right, so Oscar, mate, I'll get no work done if you join the stewarding team. We'll just be talking shit up all night. Anything else from Split 1 Imola? I don't think there's that much. Thomas?
No, I think like
a lot of this shit.
Yeah, we covered this one, which covers the two other ones, which basically covers up Imola.
Yeah, pretty much. So let's go to Laguna Seca, did I say?
Yeah, Laguna.
Laguna.
Yeah. So
Daddy
me and
Chin.
Dave Young is a good one, and then
Definitely.
you and Shooten behind me and Oaks.
Right, let me find the thingy my bobbing with Jiggy my Bob. Split 1 Laguna. So the first one we're going to show you again. This isn't a rule change. It's more of a clarification.
I would consider me and Dave a good lesson for the new guys as how to let people past.
And Thomas has very kindly volunteered this to us. So
please roast me.
No, we won't.
Deserve it.
We won't do
No, for this one, I absolutely deserve roast.
Well, we gave you enough shit in the stewards meeting. If you remember correctly, I remember you got absolutely toasted for this one. Was it this one? Was it this lap?
No.
Oh, that's the wrong Dave Young. Where's there it is. So it's lap 36 from Dave's perspective. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Chat is popping off. Not one of my proudest races. Ah, shut up, limbs. No, don't do that. Cool, right. So this is how not to let a car past. So Thomas does some things right here, but he also does some things categorically wrong. We'll play it through, we can talk about it. At full speed. Oh yeah, limbs, I forgot about that. Not your finest hour, was it? But you make up for it by being a Roblox Giga Chat, so no, you're okay. So that's from Dave's perspective. Let's have a look from Thomas's perspective.
Oh, I'm way back there.
There you go. Roblox Giga Chat. That's it. Get on my house. Cool. So there's a couple of things he does, inverted commas, correctly. What I will say, what he does correctly, he actually doesn't have to do, but we can cover that later. Obviously, the one thing he does abhorrently wrong is doesn't wait for the lapping car to pass before going back to the racing line and thus causing a collision. So Thomas got a 5-2 penalty for this. That was mitigated, I think, because it's self-reported. It's got a mitigation marker on it, so I'm pretty sure Thomas self-reported.
So take in mind that mitigating factors will be taken into consideration, but they might not always actually apply. So in this situation, Dave Young is a lap ahead of me, and I waited. So, which doesn't really like help in any way, since I'm already a lap down. It doesn't really matter if I wait or not.
Yeah, you didn't gain an advantage by the collision.
Yeah, I didn't gain an advantage by spinning him, and I didn't lose any advantage by waiting for him. It's very it's an unnecessary mitigating factor in this case. Of course, it's a good mindset to have to still wait, of course.
Yeah, it's an admittance almost of guilt, I guess, and pleading guilty in a trial. That's basically what happens. So, for the, I guess, new drivers among us, those who have had questions and issues with blue flags, allow me to stop. Please do. Let me clarify the blue flag situation for you a little bit. So, if you are driving and you get a blue flag, that means a faster car is approaching and they're within a second. The expectation and the rule is you stay predictable and you stay on the racing line. That rule can be bent. Like, you're allowed to move off the racing line if you can do it safely, like Thomas does here. He can move off the racing line and let David pass safely. That's perfectly fine. However, had Thomas have stayed on the racing line and Dave just made his way by overtaking, that's what we expect to happen. There's going to be a slight addition because of something that happened at Kota in split one with blue flags. There was 2 blue flags fighting ahead of me and Darius.
There were two blue flags fighting ahead of you here as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, the same happened here. However,
same cars.
The expectation, it was you in Oaks, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The expectation a lot of the time was for the blue flags just to dive out of the way and for us lapping cars to go past. But if a blue flag car's having a genuine battle for position in race, that's just as important. So they're not to break up their fight, basically. Is the use of indicators of any benefit when letting a car pass? Yeah, definitely. It helps. So there's a benefit to using it. It gives the car behind an idea, but I would always play by the rule of just expect everyone else on track to be an absolute lunatic who doesn't know what they're doing. So be predictable is number one.
And in the case of indicating, indicate the direction you are intending to go.
Yeah.
So if you want to stay to the left, indicate left. If you want to stay to the right, indicate right.
So it's track dependent.
Exactly, Ernest.
What I'm going to be doing, or what one of the stewards will be doing before every race this season, hopefully, will be in the driver's briefing and we'll have met beforehand to discuss anything we need to know about the race that's coming up. So there'll be guidance for blue flags, so they'll be like, these are really safe places for you to let a faster car through. That'll also be a bit of a nudge to the faster drivers to just have a bit of fucking patience. Obviously that's the main issue 9 times out of 10 is just patience for the faster driver coming through. And issues with yellow flags and what to do and pit entry, pit exit, shit like that. So that's another thing that will be happening. So there'll be step-by-step guidance, D, along the way, because I know we've got like 700 registered drivers now. So well done, obviously, to the promo team and stuff for getting us to 700. So that's huge. And we've got 106 sign-ups for this season, so we're over 100 drivers. No passing under yellow.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. So it's hard with ACC to say no because it's really hard to police. We don't have the team needed to police it. If I'm going to be brutally honest with you, we just don't. So I think we've basically changed it, and I'll have to look at my notes. It's something to do with if you can do it safely, it's fine. Something like that.
Yes, it's reportable, and it is punishable if done unsafely.
Yeah, so I know that is very ambiguous. The general rule of thumb is whenever there's a yellow flying, act like there's a crash blocking your way ahead. And obviously that means overtaking's a bit of a no-no. But if you can do it safely, then we probably won't look too harsh on it.
Not just an incident. We will look at it if it's just luck that no incident happened as well. So stuff like that, David.
Who's your question to, Chris? Real question, was it your fault or just? But I think that was it. That's in chat, so we'll ignore that. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So I need to find the incident then between me and is it Mr. Shelton? I'm looking at the wrong fucking document. Alright, this one's gone straight to my head. Let me find it. Scope. So it was 29/6. And Thomas, because this is my incident, I'm not going to say anything. Can you give the lowdown on this one so I don't get accused of plagiarism or whatever it is?
Yeah, right. So in this one, it comes down to what we said with Blue Flags Racing. I am having a close battle with Oaks ahead, and I am basically completely ignoring Chris behind me in order to actually, have a fight with Oaks. And then, Putin goes for the same move as I go for on Oaks, but contact happens in between Chris and Shooten. And if you have the documents up, Chris, you'll be able to tell the penalty, because I can't remember that one right now.
Standard 10-2.
Yeah, there was some.
Standard 10-2, and this was another
10-2.
one where, because I know David will watch this back, and me and David have different, and that's fine. We have different opinions, and one thing, I didn't have any involvement in the outcome of this. I don't even think, because I was in a shit mood, so I went to bed. I think the boys just decided this one without me there. I think me and shit were DMing each other. I can't remember actually. It was a while ago. But my argument was the cars ahead were battling. I was being patient and waiting. We'd committed to the braking point of the corner, and he wasn't significantly alongside, and I wasn't expecting the dive bomb. At that point, I'm watching these two, not my mirrors. So yeah. The counter argument is that I turned on him. And that blatant honest truth, that is the counter argument, that I should have been aware of that. And I fully respect that argument, because I get it. And there's definitely two, like, get dove. There's definitely two schools of thought on that. But we have to make a decision at the end of the day, whether that decision's right or wrong. That's what we have an appeals process for. One thing I'll say, by the way, for people in the chat, hopefully you know us all well enough by now to know that we don't sit here and pretend that we're, like, perfect and we know everything. A lot of us have got real life racing licenses, shit like that, but we don't pretend to be the be all and end all of race officials, so we're open to being wrong.
Chris?
Yes.
Their flow has some clarification questions when it comes to the no passing on the yellows.
Let's have a look. Sorry, I'm going back through chat.
Yeah.
That's just a gif about rum. So if I slow down for an incident and someone overtakes me because I'm cautious, but they make it stick without causing an incident or barely avoiding one, that's fine. Not really. If you've slowed and they haven't, you're having caution for an incident ahead. The no passing under yellows thing, the reason why we're not clamping down on it, if you're in sector 1, so let's put, for example, Kota, you just started a lap, crash happens in sector 3, you get a yellow flag. Are you going to then not overtake anyone for the rest of the... You know what I mean? Because ACC just blankets the whole thing in yellow. Unless you've got ACC Drive, which tells you exactly where the incident is, or other tools are available, you don't know that the accident is there. Doesn't tell you. It just says you just get a yellow flag at the top. So that makes it really fucking hard to say don't overtake on the yellow, because then there'd be no racing. Mr. Barodi.
Hello. Is there so regarding that yellow thing? Because that is a very, very good point in the whole situation. Because you should not be able to pass under a yellow, but it has to be within a certain certain distance of where the incident is occurring. Is there a way we could have specific people who do have ACC Drive who are like dedicated people who could say like exactly where it is and like what section of the track you can't do it in?
I mean, if
you're slowing down respectfully to like not screw up somebody else re-entering or anything like that, and somebody just blows by you, I mean that's really annoying.
Yeah, I know, man. And you know what? Couldn't agree more. I agree. And if we could make such a thing happen, the stewarding team would be all behind it. But and maybe ACE will be different. I don't know. There's no perfect solution to this one, dude, and I really wish there was, because as a blanket rule, we'd say no overtaking under yellow flags. That's what we all want, but we can't realistically enforce it because of the way the game displays yellow flags. It's just
like
not
if somebody's
fair.
in the pit and it's waving a yellow.
Yeah, exactly. How many times have we had that bug where a car's had a crash, RTG'd, and it still yellows them? If we blanket flag, no pass under yellows, then that's it. Everyone's just in a line. We can't do that.
I think even like we won't say no passing under yellows whatsoever, but call it the requirements for it to pass as a safe overtake is very it's very strict to call it that, so that we don't encourage unsafe or unfair overtakes in that way. So
even what Chris just said, within
the end of if you just start your lap, and at the end of sector 2 there is an incident, you will get yellows for that and stuff like that. So if something happens on this, if you get overtaken on the start finish straight and there's yellow at the end of sector 2, that's a safe overtake and a legitimate overtake. But of course, if we see that you're slowing down because the incident is around the next corner, because the track map shows you are very close to the yellow dots and all of that stuff, we will judge it differently.
Right. Yeah, so because in the game, even if you don't have ACC Drive, I believe it does, the guy will say, incident in sector such and such, right?
Yeah.
So is the sector too big to not be able to pass in, I would assume?
The problem is not everyone has that option on.
Oh.
We can obviously enforce that has to be a thing. That's a question for admin if they want to start.
Sectors are very long, so if a pass happens at the very start of a sector and the incident is at the very end of the sector,
flow it does, but you have to have your race logic.
I have no idea where they start and end.
Yeah.
That's kind of we're gonna cover that in driver's briefing as well about sectors. So I mean it can be tackled. We're not against it being tackled. And honestly, if anyone's got any ideas, let us know.
Maybe one corner ahead or something like that.
Yeah.
So some set distance that's relatively universal.
I think the general feeling is
be judging in favor of the safer option by slowing down and not overtaking. But of course, there are some that are like this is just there are 5 corners in between this car and the incident.
Yeah.
Visibility is 2020. Visibility is as great as it can be, and an overtake happens, and it's in no way unsafe or anything like that, it's yeah, we're going to use our judgments. Absolutely.
Yeah. And ladies and gents of the driving community, we're trying. We're trying to make it better, but ultimately we want to try and find a mix between promoting safe driving, i.e. when a yellow's out, that means fucking caution and slow down and be prepared to like avoid an accident. And we don't want to nullify the racing either, so we're trying to find a balance between that.
We have several clauses in our rules that says that like incidents will be like, or verdicts will be based on steward's judgment.
Yeah, it's basically the whole when you sign employment contracts is, and anything else your manager wants you to do. That's that. Scub asked me to look at this one. Let's have a look. I don't know what he's asking me to look at yet.
Oh yeah, this one. I remember it.
Did that?
So I do scrub dirty into this corner.
I don't know if did this get reported?
Yes.
So what, was it a ticket?
It absolutely did.
Was it a ticket? Let's have a look. So I'm looking for the ticket to see what happened. Scub. Can't see the ticket, mate. Collier, Hagen, formation lap. Oh yeah. I can see it now. It was a minor one. Honestly, it was quite a minor. So, to paint a picture, Mr. Young ahead, just understeers out onto the gravel, spins. Obviously ACC, no yellow flags because he's still moving. And Scub just full floors it and lifts a little bit, but it's a bit too late at that point. We gave a license point. I think Scub self-reported it anyway, judging by the mitigation mark on the ticket. It wasn't a big incident, and it was just one of them. It was like, yeah, you should have had a bit more comments. You know, you should have had a bit more to slow down on that. What's the old saying? When a car's spinning, aim for the rear, something like that. I'm sure that's an old sim racing fable. Yeah. If there's a car spinning,
aim for where the car is, because the car.
Yeah.
That's where the car will not be.
Go where they come from, as Mr. Miles said. Yeah, that's all. Your only issue really was just making the wrong split decision as to which way to go. That's all it was, and it just cost you at the time. But it was only one license point, so it's not really worth a time penalty. We didn't feel, and more like just a behavioural, like one license, which does nothing, by the way. Only if you start.
We felt it was very small, but it needed something.
Yeah, avoidable contact basically is how we do it. Resafe jointly. What? What? You can't in any way, shape or form blame Mr. Young for that. It had a crash, mate. And the crash was still happening. A rejoin implies the crash has happened and is getting back underway. Is that Dave
we
Young?
look at unsafe rejoins as if the car in question has regained control of them.
Yeah.
Dave was not in control of his car.
So from this point, anything he does from this point is what a classifies as a safe.
Maybe not young Dave.
Yeah, it was his own fault. But you know, he's paid the price for that already.
It's his own fault, but Flo could have done more to avoid that. Like, yeah.
Yeah, hence why the small penalty as well. And it was only a small penalty. I don't really think Dave got any damage from it, to be brutally honest with you. If he did, it would have been quite.
He probably did. He got fucked.
You won't get a lot from that.
That front splitter is hurting.
And I'm out of rum. What's next, people? Should have ghosted. Yeah, one lap penalty point. It's fine. Yeah, if you press Alt and F4 before a crash, yeah, you do get that. That's facts. That happens. I've tested it. I want to see the counter.
Right. So Lindberghs,
Counter.
if you lose control of your car and your car veers onto the road out of your control, and you have no say in where the car goes, you're kind of we can't really say no. You should have gone out of control the other way, right? The car does what the car does.
Before we go into this next bit, I'm going to need to go and top up my run. Where's counter? Cut.
Miles, yes, I believe that is the rules only apply for server 1 on the new quality rules. Correct me if I'm wrong.
On the what?
The new qualifying rules are only for server 1, I believe.
Yeah, because server 2 is still split.
Split, right? Okay.
Well, they still apply, but they're less likely to be a problem. If you know what I mean. Yeah. So, there's a. I want to say rule coming in about overtaking.
We will annoy the shit out of Lewis until he posts them.
I mean,
there are rule changes have happened. It's basically more clear rules of when it comes to.
Shall I just fly through them now? Shall I just fly through them?
Go ahead.
Fuck it, why not? Right. I'll just fly through them and then we'll look at counter. Well, we'll fly through the new rules now. I'll go and get some more rum and then we'll go through counter. Sound like a plan? Alright, let me load up. So, the document I'm loading up now is available or will be available for all to see before the season starts. This is the rule set we go off. What I will say preemptively is this rule set is supplementary. What that means is it is over and above the standard rules of racing as outlined by the SRO. So it's not an exhaustive list, basically. No, fuck off skirt. No, we're not getting that. No, not happening. And I'm just gonna cap over a few alterations to that. So we can talk about it. So, first one is who can file reports. So now it's changed that the only people that can file reports are those that are involved in the incident in one way or another. So that it used to be the fact that if you just saw it, you could report it. No, it's a fact of you have to be involved in one way or another to do it. Mitigating penalties. So self-reporting, it doesn't guarantee you mitigate it. We mitigate the penalty for you. And any mitigations to your penalties is scaled depending on the severity of it. So if you get like a multi-car, do you know what I mean? The scaling will apply or may apply. There's a big steward's discretion thing basically underneath that. We just didn't want people to skimp themselves out of penalties by self-reporting if they knew they'd fucked up. That's really all that is. Qualifying. Qualifying basically is now saying that the expectation is you find free space on the track when you start your lap. We do not allow overtaking in the initial. We do not allow overtaking in qualifying once you've passed sector 3 on the first outlap. That's why we will be in the driver's briefing saying exactly where sector 3 starts, and it will be posted so you know where it is. For instance, in Zolder, it's after like turn 6 where the underground bridge goes. We already know that. So after sector 3, no overtaking in qualifying. If you fucked up your gap that much, you're back out and you start again. Shouldn't be as much of an issue for server 2, because you have your split qualifying, and it's rarely an issue in there. But in server 1, where there's going to be like 30, 40 cars out on one, gonna be hard. Queuing can be liable to penalties. We sort of say whether it's a significant reduction in speed while not on a valid lap. We just expect you to maintain your gap, make it safe. We recommend a 2 or 3 second gap. and the expectation is you don't interfere with someone else's lap. So if you're gonna queue and wait, do so off the racing line. If you're slowing down on the racing line, you're gonna get a slap. If you are on an invalid, aborted, in lap, out lap, you're expected to get out of the way. If there's a car coming through on a flying lap, that is expected, without hindering it at all. If the driver is obviously then on an invalid lap and you overtake them, that's fine. We can usually tell if they're on an invalid lap. So that's that one. If you need to return to garage during qualifying, you have to park in a safe space away from the track. So you have to actually park off track, not on the track, not even off the race. What penalty does it carry? It depends. It's pretty much going to always be license points, because we can't punish with time penalties really in quali retrospectively. So it's pretty much always going to be license point. But it'll be if you've cocked up someone's fast lap, mate, we're gonna come down on you. I'm sorry, but we are. That's that. Qualifying bans recover, and pit lane starts recovering qualifying. That was it for quali. There's a new thing. So because teams in ARA are now a thing, there is now a portion in the rule set specifically about cheating, collusion, and teamwork. So this, I'm just going to release it and let you all have a look at it, but basically no teamwork. So if you're slowing down other cars for the benefit of someone else, that's no longer permitted. If you're I don't know, you know what I mean, that's not allowed now. That's collusion, cheating. We've really only brought this in not because of any concerns in our server, or really any server that we know about on our level. I think in LFM it happened and somewhere else, but we require all drivers now to have Motec data enabled. So what that means is in your setup it says telemetry laps. In telemetry laps you need to set that quite high, like 50 or something. Because if we believe you're cheating, we'll request your Motec data, and if you can't provide that data, I'm sorry, but we have to disqualify from all events. That's the basic of it. Yes, skirt. Although that fair, I was just having fun with you, mate, to be brutally honest. It's fine. Oh, Thomas is answering questions in chat. Sweet, right. Blue flags, we've kind of already covered it, but with blue flags, the expectation is on the slower lap, the car that's going to be lapped, stay predictable, stay on your racing line. You don't have to dive out of the way at the earliest available opportunity. If you can do so safely, great. I think that'll help, but if you can't do so safely, just stay on your racing line, and the expectation is for the faster driver to find their way around you. With that, if you're getting blue flags and you're fighting another car for position in class, you don't have to get out of the way. You finish your battle and the faster car has to wait. And if there's a collision as a result of that, the faster car will get slapped. We've covered yellow flags already. We've had a lot of talking about that, so I'm not going to cover it. Leaving space on a straight. Let me find the bit in the driving rules about this. So, give me a second, let me find it, because I need the actual wording for this. Because while I'm looking for this, what I will say is, well, we're going to try and be a bit more clear about license points and stuff. So we're going to try and publish those every week, so we know who's got what, and you know what you've got and what's coming off and all that sort of stuff. It's a bit more clear. So we've added a bit about so drivers must not force other cars sufficiently alongside them off track. We deem that if their front wheel acts as level with the driver's rear wheel or beyond, If they are alongside in any capacity, according to the radar, for long enough, the driver is aware of their position and intent. The reason that little bit's been added in is because of those incidents in Imola, basically. So basically, if you're like, you can't see in Discord, but if you're alongside to the point where you're not quite front axle to rear axle, but the other driver knows you're there, they still are expected to give you the benefit of the doubt and leave you some racing room. And if collisions happen as a result of that, then obviously that's going to cause problems. I think that's it for the changes. This will all be published, and there'll be a big announcement about it all. And obviously, we're open to questions and all that sort of stuff. Fucking hell, what are you two talking about? There's anime gifs in here now. What are you all going on about? You can download more RAM. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, Miles, there's a folder in your ACC bit for Motec. I go in there every now and again and just clear it out. It can take up a fair bit of space, but if you go in and clear it out semi-regularly, it's not going to be a problem. Yes, it is. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's it, Freddie. Our crew chief and second monitor not only allowed, they are encouraged. Crew chief's great. It gives you a lot of detailed data. Second monitor, I don't know if you won't be able to see in Discord, but I'm looking above the camera right now because that's where my second monitor is. Yeah, I have a second monitor, and typically on that I'll have my data. So I'll have like positioning, tyre temps, historical brake temps, all that shit will be on there. Sometimes my stream data as well. Yeah, and then I have like a crew chief one in. I've now got a third monitor which sits over in the corner that I'm going to get going. 40 gig. Shit. Right, I'm going to go and get some rum, and then we'll come back and we'll look at the incident that broke the stewarding team if everyone wants to go through that. Thomas, can you keep the kids entertained for a minute?
I think they are keeping themselves entertained.
Perfect. I'll be back in a few minutes. I just need to empty one tank and fill another. Right, back in a minute.
Yes, Freddy, please have a piss break. Waiting music, someone, or you can
enable it yourself
and get your rating music. Okay, so Miles, it's kind of difficult because with the new rule set, it's a lot more open to interpretation by us, but so I think we would need to discuss that one like within the stewards more, and I still think that one exactly is still like would be in a way would be still split decisions on it. But if you look at, for example, well, the two other incidents that were very similar, they are a lot more clear cut, and with the new rules, they would have been judged on the driver ahead. So between Matt Gale and Dave Young on the straight line, or on the main straight, I mean, that would have been on Matt Gale because by the time like Dave had any like a a somewhat of an overlap, like even a millimeter or more. Like he had overlap for so long time that they would have had, like Matt would have had time to adjust his line, even though it wasn't hub to hub. Basically, when you are sufficiently alongside it on straights and corners have changed, but it's nothing that is set in stone, so that we can still take situations into account. That's fine, Matt. I hope you. Right, yeah. So that's the okay. So you're talking, Chris. You're talking about corners, right? Uh, and when it comes to corners, we still have the hub to hub uh, by the turn in point, right? So we will be looking at that. Basically, we
I'm back.
basically, yeah, welcome back.
Thank you.
We basically look at the hub to hub and like alongside in corners. That's like during the breaking point, mostly like during the break, the section where you break. That's where we usually would look at by the new rules. That's when we would look at hub to hub. While on a straight, like for example, the straight on Kota, as you can see here, it would be like the limit for when you are sufficiently alongside is, or the point when you are sufficiently alongside is moved more, a lot backwards. So you need less overlap on a straight in order to be sufficiently alongside to warrant racing room than you would need in a corner in order to get racing room.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one because racing room can be defined in many different ways, and in many different situations, racing room will be different and all that sort of shit. So,
Yes.
yeah, it's going to be hard, case by case. Please bear with us. Like, you know, we're trying our best to give fair racing to the community. And ultimately,
it's still
most
going to
of the
be
time,
hub to hub before the turning point, you know, for the corner. That still counts.
yeah. Most of the time, we're telling someone their
Racing room
driving
would
was below
always stand.
par, so we're going to end up. Always feel free to verbally abuse us too. Yeah, we do actually.
Yes.
I actually have got a T-shirt in my basket on a website that I'm going to wear to the gym that says "Don't bully me, I'll come." And I'm going to wear that to the gym.
Very not likely, Chris. Moving over to iRacing, that is, yeah, no, that's probably not going to happen. If anything, we might be moving over to AC Evo when the time is appropriate.
Yeah. What lap was this Adrian thing? Do you remember?
No, I don't.
Adrian, if you're in chat, let me know.
He's typing. Adrian, when were you an idiot? 3 to 5.
Cool. And it was right at the start, so it should be. I now remember it.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's very close to someone. Might have happened. Don't think it was here. This might be it. Maybe.
No.
Nope. Oh. Oh. That looks promising. This looks yeah, here it is. Nope,
No.
that's not it.
No, it's a separate one. fighting Viero.
Oh yeah, Darius, you have missed all of it. Nothing big.
No,
Exactly.
Darius, we've been chatting a lot of shit.
It might be. Yeah, I think it's this one.
Yeah, it's this one.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, the incident that broke the stewarding process. I'll hold my hands up straight away and say that I sat there and put all this on Adrian. I'm a man. I'll admit that. I changed my mind ultimately. We had a big meeting about it. There was a lot of involvement from everybody about this. There was varied opinions. I'm going to play it through from Mr. Stewart's perspective, and then we can talk about it a little bit more. And I'll try and break down the stewarding process. What's with all the fucking anime, guy?
Oh, thank God. Luis has posted the new rules.
Is he posted it? They're out, right? Okay.
Yep. The new rules are out, boys. So learn them and don't be an idiot.
The thing is, the rules, they're common sense, a lot of them. So, yep. The incident that broke the stewarding team. Now, the first thing I'm going to point out, from my perspective, is anyone that knows Kota, watch Adrian's line and tell me this isn't fucky. It's fucky, right? And I'm not saying anything here that I haven't said to Adrian face, on a chat. Just FYI. I checked a couple of things. So he brakes later here than he does on any other lap. So I took from this incident in its isolated capacity that he'd outbraked himself, because it just looks like he goes deep to me. We started reviewing it from fucking all sorts of angles and looking at. Ultimately, it was sort of put down that Stewart should have reacted, and he didn't in time, basically. So I'll give you his in-cock.
One of the other arguments in favor of Adrian was that by the turning point, Adrian was very clearly ahead. Therefore, he was fully entitled to the corner, as per the technicalities and the rules.
Yeah. So I was originally under the impression that Adrian had outbraked himself and cut back across the apex to prevent Stewart from making the move. That was my opinion, and I fucking stood by that. And I was being a bit of a bitch, in fairness, and like not sitting down from it. And to be fair, there's still a part of me that's like, I still stand by that, but it is what it is. The main issue with this incident, I guess the main issue, it's not an issue, it was the contributing factor, is that Stewart had quite a lot of time to react and stop to prevent the accident, and just didn't. I don't think the penalty to him was huge, because it didn't deserve it.
He also had prior experience with Adrian taking that exact same line 2 times in the previous lap.
Yeah, which although we don't take necessarily into consideration, it was a factor.
Yes.
And it had to
Adrian
be
did the same thing twice during the previous lap in full view of Adam, and that was brought up as a factor.
But this split the stewarding team, because I was firmly in the camp of Adrian shouldn't have cut that close to the apex. Because one thing I did when we sat in, I think even if Adrian's in the chat, he'll probably agree that he probably shouldn't have cut that close to the apex. Hopefully he'll agree with that, because that's what he said when we were in the chat. But
Roach wants in-cock from Adrian.
I will give you in-cock whenever you want it, Mr. Bosch. I'll give you in a second. So this picture I showed to Adrian said there's not enough room at the apex there. for that Lamborghini to safely navigate the corner, and there's plenty of space for Adrian to be on the outside there, because he's ahead, sort of his corner to justify with it. That's the viewpoint. And to be fair, I think we're still at a stage where we still have different opinions on it, but that's okay.
Yes, we still have different opinions on it, but that's fine. We respect each other's opinions. And David, yes, that is also a valid argument and something that was considered when judging this, basically, being predictable.
Yeah.
So, and that is basically where Chris comes from, while I looked at this more as a rules as written thing.
And obviously Adrian's rejoin because of that part and counter takes him ages. Yeah, like the schools of thought still. Yeah, that line. that line was unorthodox, but he does it. He does a similar line like the laps before and the laps afterwards. So that's just the way he takes the corner, and that's okay. We don't all. It's not scale X straight. We don't all. That's okay. Stewart would have known what he was doing because he'd have seen it before. There's definitely advice to Adrian that he should have left room at the apex. Should have expected the Lamborghini because there's a wide open door. Should have expected him to go for that. I know I would have done.
Adrian requests showing of the other.
If you tell me where they are, then I will.
Yes, before the main straight before the back straight and after the back straight.
What
on
lap?
The previous lap?
Okay.
So lap 4, I think it's like, here. No, you had it. Back straight, not main straight.
It was just a 10-2, Freddie, which is standard causing a collision.
So we're coming up to it now. Here. Oh, you skipped it.
Well, I thought it was at the end of the straight.
Before the straight and at the end of the straight.
It's a nice switch back there on Viero. Cheers, Darius. And this is a thing, stewarding is always going to bring out different opinions, and that's fine. And even we as stewards will not always agree, but we have to make a decision at the end of the day, and it's usually like a majority or someone has a deciding vote, basically. Shall we dive into it? It's not a cock waving contest, but that's in fact I don't know if I've got our replay. Don't know if I've got it. Yeah, it does get a good exit, but at the sacrifice of he just covers more track, basically doing it. So Viero, for me, could have made that move way more successful by basically by being closer to Adrian, and that would have increased his exit speed. For me, Viero actually cooks himself a little bit there, especially into this corner where he just goes so close. He doesn't need to go that far over. He's too close to the apex. So his apex speed there is too slow. He's never going to get out of the corner faster than Adrian. If he'd have stayed closer to Adrian, it'd have been a similar speed and it'd have been okay. Yeah, I haven't got the replay, Darius. Sorry, I don't think. The only replays I've got are. I've got these.
Oh yes.
So I've not.
That's kind of a byproduct of.
Yeah.
Hitting the apex before the apex starts turning.
You have featured though, Darius, although by being sideways at first. Okay, so I think we've run through what we wanted to run through as a stewarding team, I think, unless Darius is about to blop something else in. Are there any questions from the audience? Anything you want clarification on? Anything you want to say to us as swear words? It's a free space. You can give us abuse if you want, that's fine. But if there's anything genuine that you want to talk about, now's a good time. Will there be a prize?
That is up to Darius.
Yeah.
That's his area of expertise.
So actually, one thing that I'm not gonna announce it now because we don't know if it's actually happening yet. But there's an idea floating around to do, I'm not gonna say podcast, but that then evolved into we want to do like a season preview. Hi, Darius.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this easy now. As you might have seen, we've tried to do the awards thingy, but yeah, remembering shit is hard after 7 races over the course of like 2 months. So we're gonna try this again, doing the awards next season, and opening up the entry so you can throw in stuff during the season, and we can evaluate that at the end of the season. And the other thing is, yeah, the podcast thing is still a thing, but time is an issue and how to do it is an issue. But other than that, I'm still considering doing the podcast, just for those of you who might have seen Paul's Friday shenanigans, where he shit talks every league he races in or all the races he does on Friday, just to
it's a lot of fun.
Basically have a laugh, but which is basically what I'm trying to establish. But well, at the moment, time is a relative issue.
Yeah, so that I guess evolved into an idea. I want to claim credit for the idea, but I don't think it was all me. I know, yeah, Thomas, I've seen that. I'll come back to it in a minute. We wanted to do like a bit of a podcast preview in the season, so with so many new drivers, like who's going to be in contention this season, like what are the tracks looking like, who do we think is going to come out on top at Mount Panorama, all that sort of shit, and then incorporate the awards into it. So we have had some submissions, and it'd be daft to ignore them, but probably away from an awards format, because there's a better way we can do that, like Darius has said, for next season, if we just keep it going throughout the season. Just have we'll talk through some special moments of season 12, like David Roth turned himself into fucking SpaceX twice, that sort of thing. Yeah, and we can just go through those.
I mean, we've talked about that. It's the Intercontinental Ballistic Mercedes.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. We can cover all that off. And yeah, sorry, I've got the Monza replay now, so I'm just going to drop that in. So whether I'm speaking to Fengals about whether that can happen or not, basically. Replay saved and drop that in.
David, unluckiest cunt of the season, which is definitely going to you.
So what's the point of teams if no teamwork allowed? Teamwork by definition, Skirt, is in these rules is not slowing down other drivers. So if you're in a team and you're colluding with your teammate to slow down someone behind you, that's not okay. And I hope we understand why that happened. Yeah, there's gonna be like special mentions for the Intercontinental Ballistic Mercedes. Oh, Damien, you want to be careful, mate. He's a Joy of Racing Roth edition. Right, let's have a look at this Monza shitstorm, and then we'll may have some time for some more questions. What Monza incident? What are we looking at? How are you anyway, Darius? I feel like I've not spoke to you in ages.
Yeah, because I've basically taken the 6 weeks off.
Ah, yeah. I noticed. I missed you. Let's have a look. Who wanted me to look at Monza? And what am I looking at? Lesmo 1. What lap? Oh right, lap 1. I immediately know what you're going on about. Right, okay. So it is. Where is he?
Oh yeah, the chaos. I
The-
remember this one.
Okay.
Because I just skedaddled through. Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
it
that
here?
would be nice. Oh, it's weird. What? There was so much.
Something happens.
Yeah, I swear to God. It went fucking
There we go.
Hey,
There we go.
that's wonderful.
Right. Let's do this because this is funny. Yeah, it was that too. I'm going to a different part of Italy. Right, let's go here. Yeah, Christy, I know you'll remember, mate. So we start. Okay, yeah, this is nice. This is nice. And then
This isn't so nice.
this isn't so nice. So an accident's happened. There's then cars re-entering. Cars getting out of the way. Bang, 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 bang. It just turns into a car park down here, look. There's cars everywhere. Yeah. Cheers, Adrian. See you later, mate. Good luck in the interview. Fucking, it's cars everywhere.
I'll be your Adrian. I'll be your alarm clock by 6mm BB tomorrow.
Nice. That one was a fucking nightmare. And there were little penalties given out to a lot of drivers. So I think Skitty got one. Fucking hell, what else? I'm trying to find it.
Yeah,
on the
you did
sheet.
get one for an unsafe rejoin.
Skitty definitely got one.
Because
Anderson got one, and there was something else. I'm sure of it. But yeah, it was a clusterfuck. Can we see the rejoin again? Yeah, it was.
Yeah, from Skitty. This is the one time he should have ignored my advice of not touching grass. He should have absolutely touched more grass.
Skitty is normally one of the cleanest guys you can come across. He's so just relaxed. Yeah. Nothing phases him normally.
Oh. Then he didn't touch enough grass.
Yeah, so it's too much grass. I think that was Scub that got caught up in that, and a few others. Yeah. I don't know what I see. I just come through. I'm near the back. I didn't have a great start at Monza, and I just there's cars everywhere. Let's have a look at
Yeah, look at my POV, because that's by the time I get through there, everything's happened.
Oh, Scub's, yeah, Scub's in front, Scub's behind me, look. Oh, poor Scub. Yeah, that was a clusterfuck, that one. But look, they happen. It's racing. Crashes happen. It's how we learn from it, and ultimately we just want to learn from these things. We're quite keen as stewards to not come across, and we take the piss a lot, and we try and have fun, but we try not to come across in any other way than just to try and educate. And we don't do that by pretending to be perfect. But we also yeah, there was, yeah. It was turn 0, I think.
I was kissing you.
Yeah, that look. Split one, ladies and gents.
Yep.
Why is David involved again?
I know,
Fuck's sake.
It's always David.
Fuck's sake, David.
I think he was a victim in this one, though.
He's always the victim. He's server 1 Steve, for fuck's sake.
Where's Mr. Where is Mr. He didn't have a great season, did he?
Nope. Must be the curse of the Mercedes.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, he gets tagged by
Carter
Lewis.
Lewis,
He gets
for
tagged by
fuck's
Lewis,
sake.
yeah.
Oh, and hold on. Here I am.
Oh, there you are. Waiting. Tap. Tap. Tap, 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 tap.
I think I got rammed up the ass, which is why I almost him again. I don't know.
Yeah. We just want everyone to have as clean and fun racing as possible. That's all we really want to try and achieve. Lap 3 Castro and Limbos is quite funny too. Who was ramming Thomas? Probably Adrian with his BB gun. Castro, where's Limbs? Where is he? Lap 3, what? Oh, T1.
Yes.
Well, he has tried to spare me with one of his guns.
No.
Bing.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck hell. I need Wash POV for that. Minding my own business. P2, doing nice. What the fuck?
To quote a certain orangutan, maniac.
Got a warning. Oh, did you? You actually got a track limit for that? That's unfair. That's so unfair. ACC, shitbag. Yeah, so there's been some entertaining moments, I think. This is the official stream showing it as a successful overtake. Well, I mean, it was. It was a successful overtake. He might have been backwards in the process, but he overtook. Look. Actually. Cool. Any questions? Any questions? Abuse? Shit like that. Didn't Lim still podium? Yeah, probably knowing him. Podium ding Diamond.
No, he didn't grosh.
What?
Yeah,
not overall, but yeah.
Yes, but let's ignore the sandbag and the Mustang.
And he's not.
Oh yeah,
he's not
yeah.
sandbagging
You can. That's actually true. You can check me trying to scare Limburgs and then just completely fuck it too far into the corner. I think it's the second to last lap going into Ascari, or third to last. Ah, it's the second to last. Or was it the last lap? No, it's here.
Bonk.
Bonk! Counter.
You hit me, I hit you. Bastard bloody.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
The steward meetings, Scub, they devolve fast.
Yes.
It starts really serious, and we sat there going, oh yes, I think he did this, and he could have had this input, and if this had have happened, this, and it's very like nice. And then by the end of it, we're all just talking about, we're all just making dick and fart jokes and taking the piss out of each other and all sorts. It devolves fast into childish chaos. Great. No, you fucking fuck. Yeah, that's it. We're gonna. Ultimately, I think we want to change the way we do stewarding to just try and save ourselves a little bit of workload. During the endurance, so I'm doing live stewarding for the endurance, and I'll have members of the stewarding team join me when they're not racing and shit. But I'm gonna try use race control for that and do live stewarding, I think. And then ultimately, if we can bring that in for the season, that might help us as well.
To a certain degree, we still want, to give the drivers abilities to kind of sort incidents between themselves. If I hit Chris and I come to him afterwards and apologize, we want the ability for him to say it's okay and no penalty to follow me.
Yeah.
But which is hard with just basically looking at race control like it's and not taking anything into consideration.
Skirt, with you being mentally stable, you won't make a good fit for the stewarding team.
Yeah, that's bad.
You need to have a degree of absolute insanity. Anything I've missed? Let's have a look. So I'll make the pass then.
Insanity, and you'll need to know you'll never beat my tits.
Yeah, you'll never beat Thomas's tits. And every now and again, we all turn our webcams on, and that gets that gets bad.
Yeah,
Fast.
the level of debauchery really escalates quickly.
Yeah, that becomes filth very fast. And you've got to be comfortable with some sort of a lot of
Filth.
Yeah, a lot of vague
Phallic devices.
homoerotic sort of shit.
And phallic devices.
And phallic
Oh,
devices. Yeah, all that shit. Wouldn't add in both effective drivers as tickets so the effective driver can say he doesn't want this punished or something like that. We do that afterwards.
In another way, it's we let them sort it out first, because if we basically make a ticket, like doing everything through race control is gonna increase our workload so much, because it's gonna pick up accidents that aren't there, like contacts that aren't there, and it's gonna not pick up some contacts that do happen. And then, like 70% of them isn't even like applicable.
Yeah, you'll just get little door bangs.
Yeah.
With adding effective drivers, I want to say the expectation that it's the wrong word, Scud, but what we'd rather you do as adults, hopefully, most of us, not all of us to be fair, mentally and physically, is sort it out between yourselves. So if you've had an incident, if I've had an incident with someone, 9 times out of 10 I'll end up speaking to them over DMs. And we try and sort it out between ourselves, like whether we feel there's a penalty necessary. Yeah, so I'd probably encourage you to speak to your fellow drivers if you want to just iron it out. But the stewards team, that's what we're here for. We're here to give a hopefully impartial sort of standpoint on where we sit. But there's no obligation for you to message the other person involved or anything like that. The reason why we add them into the ticket afterwards is so they can appeal the decision. That's what we're there for. Sometimes putting them in before the accident has been reviewed can be seen as giving details to the stewards that we don't need for the incident. So we like to look at the incidents with sort of like a blank slate. If we start adding loads of people and there's conversations happening before we've even looked at it, then you can say with some confidence that we'll go into it with an idea in our head already, which isn't fair. And then it's just it has the likelihood to just cause a fucking argument as well, which we don't want. So yeah, there's an argument for both ways, but I think the lesser of two evils is just to sort of do it the way we do it now, and the DMs are there if you want to have that conversation privately without needing
It
to involve.
also, by doing it this way, we also don't, in the same way, enable conflict to happen. Sure, conflict can happen in the DMs, but if we add both people, like both drivers of an incident, to a ticket together, snarky comments can come out, and disagreements will happen, and that's not what we're after in the tickets.
Yeah, basically. I think the chat's slowing down a little bit. Yeah, Miles. Yeah, and that's sort of the point. I'd hope it won't happen, but it could devolve into having agendas against certain people, which we certainly don't want. Penalty for false reports. Depends how you classify false report. If you're sat there putting in penalties for shit that hasn't happened, then you're gonna get a DM from a steward, basically saying we're busy enough, please don't fucking do this shit. So I don't know what you mean by false report. If it's a false report, it shouldn't be there anyway. And obviously, if you report an incident, you're open to the fact that we might hold you at fault. You know, reporting it doesn't mean that you're not at blame for the incident. We've done that quite a lot, where someone's reported it, and we've said, actually, no, it's your fault.
The other driver.
Yeah, no, it's your fault, guy.
Which is why it's important during self-reports that you make it clear that you are to blame for it, because if it's unclear for us, sure, we'll ask, but you might, be you might get a verdict without any potential mitigating factors because we don't think it's a self-report.
Yeah, basically. I was going to say something there. What if someone indicates it's self-reporting but it's the other person's fault? We judge the incident on the merits of the incident. We only take the self-reporting bit into consideration if that's necessary. Otherwise, it's just not applicable.
If it's self-reporting but it's the other guy's fault, then we treat it as a normal incident.
Yeah, basically.
Because it's still reported.
Any other questions?
Also,
go on, Thomas.
Tickets can be pulled up to the point where they are announced. So, if you put in a ticket Sunday night because you're really pissed at the guy that hit you, and then, during Monday you look at the incident again and say, well, it looked like, no, it was actually kind of my fault again, or it was just unfortunate, I don't want to report this, then you can close the ticket and we won't look at it anymore.
And one last thing, just you've reminded me, Thomas, actually, we have the clarification option. So
yes.
The clarification option is purely just to get clarification on something. No penalty will come as a result of a clarification ticket. So they're not used a lot because there's not a need for it.
Based on your own driving.
Yes.
To say that. So
if you think you've done something wrong.
Yeah. If you think you fucked up but you're not sure, you can clarify that.
Did he?
And we will give you an answer.
Sorry, I'm looking. Apparently, Skirt asked a question. I'm going to try and find it. Sorry, I do miss chats every now and again. I've got the attention span of whatever doesn't have a big attention span.
A goldfish.
That, whatever that is. Yeah. I can't see Skirt's question.
Didn't know you were related to Limburgs. He's got the memory of a goldfish and you've got the attention span of a goldfish.
Why not team play on track?
I answered that. So it's just deemed as unfair. That's all. It's just not. It's not sporting. It's against sort of certain sporting codes and all that shit. And just because it's allowed in F1 doesn't mean it should be. So teaming. So we have the teams within ERA, which are the little things that people have been recruiting for. It could also count for me and Darius as LNR drivers. And, hold my hands up, that can happen. So if I slow someone down for Darius's benefit, that's teamwork, that's collusion, and under the new regulations, that's no longer permitted. Shut up, Skip. No need to. Yeah, of course you can. You can fight as usual if it's for position. Of course you can. Yeah, limbs. Yeah, exactly. But the same point, I'm not called the wall for nothing. So can I race dirty? Fuck off, no, you can't. What if it's for position and I let my teammate go and fight the other guy for death? That's kind of the point of the rule, Miles, isn't it? Anything where the other driver has to take at the very least avoiding action would be considered an incident. Bump drafting allowed. Good question. Have we spoke about bump drafting, Jones? I don't think we ever have we?
I don't think we did, but I think at this point everyone knows how shitty ACC is when it comes to contact physics. And since, you know, like if you push a car and you're just 1 kilometer faster, there's not a lot that would happen. But with ACC's physics, you're just gonna get catapulted to the fucking moon.
Yeah.
I have bump drafted one person and it caused a really big incident, and I have not bump drafted anyone since.
I think I've done it. I've done it once. Oh no, I did it in the M when we raced the M2s.
Yes,
but they're going like 5 miles an hour, so it don't really matter.
I distinctly remember pushing M4s, GT4s around Silverstone in a Nissan.
Yes.
Yeah, in the M2s it's
30
fine.
seconds of damage and you were nothing.
Yes.
GT3s are a lot more sensitive to bump drafting. I know it. I've seen it happen, and it just causes the guy in front to go and just spin off.
Certain cars are very sensitive to bump drafting. The Lexus, you cannot bump draft whatsoever.
Because it's faster.
In a sense, it's not banned.
Draft,
with the Lexus, yeah.
Yeah, it's not banned, but if an accident happens as a result of it, you'll be held liable, basically.
I was in the Nissan and bump drafted Sam, who was driving the Lexus, and it did not end well.
Yeah, it's sketchy. Maybe in Evo. Who knows? Who knows what the physics model holds in store for Evo? Might be a little bit better for us. God knows. Right, we've been going over 2 hours. Any other questions before I close us out for the evening? Because I need to finish my run and get to bed. Oh, is it on thingy tomorrow? By defense. Yeah, Miles, that's fine as long as you're not blue flagged. That's okay. Yeah, that's okay, mate. If you're blue flagged, don't defend. But unless, then you're all good. Record it for me, please. Record what? Oh, fucking hell, this skirt. You muted, skirt. You're muted. We can't hear you. There we go.
Car noises.
Yeah, it's got back.
Man just wanted to show off his flatplane V8.
That's it. He's just driving about. What time is it in Texas? Is he on the source already? What's going on?
Are we allowed to have anti-LNR propaganda on our cars?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
What do you? What are you planning?
Huh?
What are you planning?
Are you an LNR driver?
Yeah.
Sorry. Can't tell you.
I am. Doing it to me. Or I'm not an LNR driver.
Man drives a Ford.
Yeah.
I recognise that bong anyway.
Is hate speech allowed?
So that's not really a question for the stewards.
That's a question for Fengler.
That's a question for Fengler. So, as far as liveries go, and I might be wrong, as long as whatever you put on there is sort of streamable, it's fine. As Miles's Jaguar livery,
As long as it's not targeting a direct group of people.
You can define direct group
Yeah.
of people differently. Miles, your
I
Jaguar
believe,
definitely isn't streamable.
On the brink,
I
Mouse.
believe,
On the
like,
brink.
threatening to kill aliens is fine.
I mean, it was fucking
Threatening to kill
brilliant.
Chinese people is not good.
It was one of the best things I've seen in my life, and I've watched a lot of porn. So yeah, that was that was really good.
Sorry, Chris.
I told you we'd evolve. But
Yeah, we're derailing again, as usual.
but if you put on there like Deathly Infidels or something, you'll probably not be allowed.
Or if you put Hello Kitty tits on there.
Yes.
We don't like Hello Kitty tits.
Yeah, so you've got to remember that the races are streamed, and while ever on the stream, as much as we like to have a laugh, we still represented ERA. It's got to be streamable. There's stuff you can get away with for sure. Yeah, you can get away with some funny shit, but like some of the stuff that I've seen, you definitely can't. Funny as shit, but you can't do it on stream, unfortunately. But you know. that livery is the best thing I've ever seen.
All right, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
No worries, dude. No
You're
worries.
welcome, mate.
Cool. Right. I don't think I've got anything else I need to cover. I will definitely think of something that I've missed as soon as I close the stream down. But for now, gentlemen, anything that you would like to say to the audience and the wider world? Darius, you took a breath in there as if you were about to. You took a breath in.
I've just seen Mr. Peterson's next delivery and it looks great.
Oh, right, okay. What if an incident but NFA? Then it's NFA. So NFA means there's no further action to one of the drivers in the incident. So we as a team believe that someone's at fault for it, but not severe enough to actually give them a penalty. So it doesn't really get recorded anywhere. It's more of a, we think that was on you, but there's nothing. Like, that'll happen if, like, there was a door collision, someone came off worse, it was definitely your fault, but everything was okay. So racing incident is where no one was at fault.
If I pick myself on Chris, and then I report it, it will probably be an NFA, because I pitted myself around Chris. So basically I drove into Chris and I spun, meaning I got basically instant karma, and my penalty was served there and then. That is different from racing incidents, where an incident happens and we can either blame both the drivers or none of the drivers. Usually an NFA is either there isn't an incident here, or there is an incident, but we won't penalize it.
Yeah, basically. And yeah, if it's usually just what sort of Walker and Fengler's putting out at the time. And I actually hope David has a season where he's not involved in every single fucking incident. That'd be nice. It'd be nice to see.
It might be David's faults, but we'll penalize the Fengler.
Yeah, I'm definitely rooting for you this season, Mr. Off. Jesus. So do 5 seconds to walk on. It is. Cool. Right. Thank you for your time. I know we've run over. These things often do. I appreciate your time. Hopefully we can do this again. If you've enjoyed it, let me know. This doesn't mean that after this you're not allowed to ask us questions or anything. We're a very open book. You know who the stewards are. There's no secret to who we are or anything like that. Are women allowed to know? Yes, of course, yeah. Feel free to just DM us a question. What's a woman? Half the guys are asking.
I haven't heard of it.
I don't know any. Yeah, they are. If they want to, it's fine. We have had female drivers before, haven't we?
Yes.
Not many, but we've had them.
Yeah.
Like that guy called Professional Hater. Oh Miles. I'm not going to repeat that, but I can tell. I can. Yeah.
Fuck's sake, Miles!
I'll drink with anyone. Alright, Skirt. I'm already there, bro. I'm already there, mate. I'm on the gin and gin. No, I'm not on gin and juice. I'm on rum and coke. Cool. Right. I'm gonna close the stream out on Twitch because you guys don't need to listen to this shit anymore. This video will be available to view in all its glory on YouTube in the coming days. In all its devolved nonsense. Thank you all for your time. Really do appreciate it. And hopefully, hope to fucking God we have a good season 13. And 13 isn't unlucky for everybody. But yeah, thanks for joining in. It's been a pleasure sharing the last couple of hours with you all. Cheers, boys. Right, we'll see you all on the track. I'll close the stage out, and if we want to jump into a VC and carry on drinking, we can do that. Right, see you later. Thank you. Right, and for Twitch, there you are. Twitch and YouTube. That's been the stewarding session, the second one. It did devolve a little bit, I'll be honest, but they always do. They always go that way. Catch you next time. Bon voyage.